G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to cover all the changes in the new version 17.40 update. We had Coral Castle finally get some map changes. It didn't get nuked, but it did get changed at least a little bit. I want to talk about that. We also have the new imposter game mode, which is basically just Among Us in Fortnite. We had the announcement that Wild Weeks are coming back, and along with it, the suppressed pistol, suppressed AR, and suppressed sniper rifle all being unvaulted. We also have the announcement of the Wonderwoman skin cup that is taking place in less than a day, and I want to recap all the action from the trio cash cups that took place today, including Antics, XWeezy, and Forziar's ridiculous performance on EU. Let's kick off talking about the map changes. And I know I've kind of become the guy that a lot of people see as the person just constantly complaining about the map or the lack of map changes. I'm going to try to switch that. I'm going to try to be a little bit more positive. I think I've just got to come to terms with, for whatever reason, whether I agree with it or disagree, Epic just aren't making the map changes like they used to. We're just not getting regular map changes. And for whatever reason, maybe it's to not affect FNCS or competitive, which I respect. The map just isn't really going to change. We have Coral Castle changing, but I'll also let you know, I have now been playing this update for 2 hours and I have not once been able to get the new Coral Castle. So I'm going off the footage of other players. There is a bug right now. I'm hoping by the time you watch this video, it's fixed, where most of the games or every game that I load into, Coral Castle is exactly the same. I've been watching a whole bunch of streamers. X2 Twins seem to be having the same issue. McCreamy got into the actual Coral Castle with the changes. I've done everything. I've verified my game files. I even uninstalled and reinstalled the game entirely, and I still don't have it. So hopefully that's fixed for you guys. But let's talk about these map changes. It is very similar to Slurpee. It looks like there's a whole bunch of teleportation stuff all around it. It's floating in the air. There's a bunch of IO chests. It's overall pretty cool in the same way that I like the Slurpee Swamps change as well. But one thing I wanted to talk about is we are literally losing loot right now. And I remember, I'm going to talk about most of this from a competitive perspective because that's obviously the angle that I come from. Pubs right now, a whole bunch of crazy, all that's going on. There's a new mythic, I believe, but I'm going to keep most of what I talk to about competitive. We have now lost loot with these changes. If you go to Slurpee Swamps right now, it is barren. They've taken out pretty much the whole of main. They took out the big slurp barrels. They pretty much, they've taken, I would say, at least 30% of the loot out of Slurpee, and they didn't put it back. So since we started getting these map changes or these updates, we have lost all the IO chests at the center of the map, which was a viable trio split drop or a solo drop. We have lost the loot out of Slurpee. We have now gained loot at Coral Castle, but I'm assuming what's happened to Slurpee is going to happen to Coral Castle as well, and the same thing's supposed to happen to Corny. So by the time we get to FNCS Grand Finals, we will have lost almost all the loot at Slurpee, Coral Castle, and Corny Complex. Not only are we not gaining POIs, we're not gaining loot on the map, we're losing it. So every time we get one of these crazy cool map changes, we are then going back to getting less loot and a worse POI at the one it's just come from. Like, I'm trying to not be negative. I'm trying to be that guy who stays more upbeat, but I just really don't understand the angle Epic's coming at from this. The drop spot feels cool. You drop there a few times, you have some fun, that's great. But then the rest of the map, where it's leaving a wake of destruction, is getting even more boring somehow and even more weak. At this point, I really don't get what's going on. We also have the reintroduction of Wild Week. And if you remember, Wild Week didn't go too well last time. Last time we had Wild Week, that is when the fire got buffed. Instead of doing 1 damage a tick, it got buffed up to 15 damage a tick. Then it got taken back down to 10, which is currently at now. The flame bows were everywhere. That was some of the worst tournaments we've ever seen. Just shooting flame bows on low ground and racking up 8 and 9 kills. So we've got that coming back, but don't panic, it's not going into competitive. So I have to sing Epic's praises here. Thank you so much. That decision would have not ruined FNCS this weekend, but would have made it absolutely terrible. So the Wild Week that's coming in, it kind of looks like a henchman Wild Week. So what it says is, the invasion is reaching its climactic conclusion as new tactics are being deployed weekly to turn the tide. Starting Thursday of this week, every Epic plus pistol, Epic plus assault rifle, and bolt action sniper rifles will be replaced with their stealthy variants, suppressed pistols, suppressed assault rifles, and suppressed sniper rifles. So I read that, I freaked out. I was like, imagine just FNCS this weekend where no one has regular assault rifles. They're all going to be suppressed. Suppressed pistols will be back in the game. But if you scroll down on the blog post at the very bottom at miscellaneous, literally the last sentence as a tiny dot point, Epic says, please note that the Sneak, Wild Week, and Burst Pulse Rifle are not present in competitive playlists. So again, Thank you, Epic. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just always going to be slamming Epic and just being negative. When they do things that I agree with, I'm going to say well done, and I'm very, very happy they learned from the last Wild Week and didn't put it in competitive this time. It looks like there might also be another one. They said to avoid being seen as well as heard, the aliens are countering this by deploying more proper fires across the island, and in keeping up with trends, more vendors are supplying prop disguise services. Combine the sneakiness of a prop disguise with the silent precision of a suppressed sniper rifle, and the enemy won't know what hit him. So again, it seems pretty normal. It's just crazy pub fun stuff, which again, I'm all for. Add a bunch of crazy stuff into pubs, change the games for short periods of time. That keeps it fresh and exciting for the casuals. Let's talk about this new game mode, the imposters, because even though I'm mostly focusing on competitive, I love when there's good LTMs and good game modes added to the game. I tried this out a few times, and I'm going to preface this by saying I never really got into Among Us. There's for no real reason. Among Us looked really cool. I'm just more of a solo streamer for the most part. I really don't like doing stuff in big groups. You can call me a loner. Tell me I have no friends. I don't mind. I just really like to play games with maybe 1, 2, or 3 friends at most. I don't like doing the big call and stuff. I'm excited to give this game mode a go. It looks really, really good. It does have a fill option though, and I don't know about this one. I really think the only way this game mode is going to work is if you're all on Discord or you're all in a voice chat with each other and you can actually communicate, because for obvious reasons, there is no voice chat in this game mode. If you've ever played Among Us, if you don't understand the concept, basically you go into a mini map, there's a whole bunch of you get assigned to be agents, which basically means that you're just doing tasks, you're trying to survive, and you're trying to figure out who the imposters are. The imposters are 2 players who then have to eliminate all the other players without them figuring out who they are. Really, really fun concept. You do tasks, you do that. The tasks are very Fortnite. I will say straight off the bat, Epic has not tried to pretend that they're not just completely ripping off Among Us. This is literally just Among Us in Fortnite. Whether you like that or dislike it, they've just gone all out. They literally called it imposters, which is the same thing from Among Us. But it is a good game mode, but you can imagine the problem right now with no voice chat. You do the tasks and someone gets killed, and then it's a bunch of you just pointing at each other and using really generic voice lines for like, who are you voting for? Did you do it? I didn't do it. And there's no communication. Kids are just pointing at each other and everyone's voting one guy off because they didn't like his skin. They just thought that the fit wasn't clean enough. Like, it's not gonna actually function. You're gonna have kids who are just gonna leave when they don't get imposter because they don't want to play as the agents because it's kind of boring. I just can't see it working as like a fill game mode. But if you can get enough friends together, if there's Discords out there that are like obviously gonna have like, you know, groups of this going on, I think it could be really cool, especially for content creators, bringing them together. And the idea of it being in Fortnite, I get it, but I mean, if you wanted to play Among Us, you probably just go and play it as the normal game. But the fact that it's in Fortnite is very cool, and I think there's a lot of room for Fortnite to add more stuff like this in the future, and I think they've done a really good job of it. They clearly put in a lot of effort. It doesn't just feel like it's just some creative map that's been slapped together. They really went all out for this. So the only problem is those issues about voice chat can't be combated. I don't think it's ever going to be a good idea to have a voice chat in a game like this. It's just going to be kids screaming racial slurs. Like, let's be honest, if you've ever gone into creative Phil's Zone Wars and just turned on voice chat for 3 seconds, it's a nightmare. It's a war zone. Like, it genuinely gives me PTSD from old COD lobbies, but just kids are way louder with way higher voices. It's not going to work as a game mode like that, but I'm sure people still have fun with it. And like I said, I've got to respect the effort. I think there's a lot that can be done with Fortnite, with the creative scene, and just having those crazy cool maps. I mean, Booga's Endgame, that was technically an entirely different game mode that had a whole different feel to it and was just so phenomenal. So I like that Epic is doing a lot more of these. I think it has big potential. Unfortunately, that's kind of it. I really wish there was more in this update. The last thing I want to say is I absolutely love that Epic is still doing patch notes now, so I know what is in the game. I know that there is nothing else because they are posting full patch notes now. I said this in the last video I did during last update. Thank you so much for that, Epic. Please keep the patch notes coming. But yeah, if there was more information for me to cover, guys, I definitely will. But that's basically it in the update. I think long gone are the days of just having these crazy updates with a whole bunch of map changes, a whole bunch of items. I'm still waiting and hoping for like a mid-season Stark update, but I'm guessing with FNCS semifinals in 2 weeks and finals in 3 weeks, I don't think they're going to do that. So I think this is the map we've got, and I think the only map changes we're going to get now is the Corny Complex is going to have the same thing that happens at Coral Castle, which seems to be kind of know what it's going to look like and roughly how it's coming. It feels a little bit less exciting for me. Let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe I'm just being negative. Maybe it's just me. You guys know that map changes is something that I think would really save this game and boost pushed it to another level again, so I'm particularly critical when I think the map changes aren't hitting the mark. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe you're super loving the new Coral Castle. Now, this isn't really part of the update, but I wanted to include it. We do have another skin cup. I want to make this clear because in my last video where I talked about it, I didn't really make it clear. I'm super happy that Epic is putting in these skin tournaments because it's just another tournament to play in. It's a bit more casual and lets people compete and have fun with their friends. Fully agree with that. What I tried to say was the fact that I just don't really care about commenting on the actual skins themselves anymore because I just think there's so many collaborations in Fortnite right now. They've just lost their appeal to me. So Wonderwoman, it does look like a nice skin. It's cool, and Wonder Woman is one of the coolest superhero characters in my mind, so it's pretty awesome, I guess, but it does look like a fun tournament. It's going to be the same format as usual. It is 42 points for a win. Each elimination is worth 1. It is a duos tournament, and it's taking place on the 18th, which for most of you guys around the world is going to be either today or tomorrow at the very latest, so make sure you find your duo, make sure you're ready. Last but not least, we did have the trio cash cups today, and man, EU, we had Antics, Forzia, and Xweezy, 251 points, 7 matches played, 5 wins. They won 5 out of 7 games with an average elims of 15.71. Insane performance from them. We had Hen, Janice, and Chapix, of course, always up there in second place. Then we had, I'm actually really feel bad. I'm not entirely sure what team this is. I was trying to look at their profiles. I was trying to figure out exactly who it was based on their placements, and I can't seem to really find out who it is. I'm so sorry for whoever came in third place. I'm sure you guys in the chat know. We had Putrix team in 4th. We had Aqua's team in 5th. We had Stener's team in 6th with Roban. We had Wolfies in 7th. We then managed to have Hi Chris in 9th, and then we had Amplify in 10th. So overall, some big performances from players we would come to expect. NA East as well, we had Iomzo's team proving that right now they are the Cash Cup kings of NA East. They have qualified into FNCS, proving it's not a fluke, and they are looking really good, taking out the top spot on 210 points. You're probably noticing a lot lower than EU, honestly. So that's a 41 point difference between first on both the regions. And when second place, Hen, Janice, and Chapix was 245, so 2 teams got those big points. NA East was a bit slow today. We had Gabe Tahi and Sprite in 2nd, and then as I talk about NA being slow, we managed to have Wave High Ground, which is obviously Vidil, Janice, and then Aqua always on height in 3rd on 207. So that means that team basically placed 5th and 3rd on NA East. Obviously, Janice filling in though for Noah Riley. We then had L Peace King, which is Day, Pledge because Mira was away, and Reverse 2K come in 4th. Then we had another EU team, Nobleton, I believe Nobleton, I'm sorry, in 5th place. We then had Hjelti's new team in 6th. We had Bully in 7th, Nosh in 8th, Commandments team in 9th, and then we had Full Peace Polo in 10th. So EU showed up pretty big on the NA East Cash Cup. The top 10 didn't show it too much, but if you look at the top 20 and top 25, there was a lot of EU teams up there. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.